everybody, hope you're all okay. I thought this week, being as it's been quite difficult to use any props, I thought we'd just use, I think most of you have got a TheraBand, or if you haven't, a dressing down cord will do the same job. If not, absolutely fine, because I'm going to give you alternatives. So you can either use your TheraBand, say stretchy band, a dressing down cord, or anything similar that's long enough for you to comfortably use. But as I say, I'll give you alternatives. So if you haven't got either of those, then that's absolutely fine. You can still do the class quite easily. So we'll just start off with some roll downs, and then we'll come down onto the mat this week to do our warm up. So just take those feet hip width apart. Think about the feet sinking down nicely into that mat. Just get a nice equal feel through those 3 points of the feet. So you've got the point behind your big toe, point behind your little toe, and then you've got the point in the centre of your heel. So just take a moment just to find those points, and then just start breathing in a nice pattern. So try and inhale and exhale in a pattern. So you maybe count your in-breath and count your out-breath, and try and keep them the same for quite a while, so you just get into not breathing too quickly. And remember, you're thinking about breathing out wide and full into those ribs, not pushing the breath down. So when you're ready, just inhale. As you exhale, just tuck the chin, gently roll forward, one vertebra at a time. Nice soft knees, so you're not locking and pushing those knees out behind you. Nice heavy arms, and make sure you're not pushing that tailbone out. And then when you get to the bottom, give the arms a circle or a swing from side to side. And then inhale, as you exhale, restack that spine one vertebra at a time. We'll do 2 more, nice and slowly. So as you come up, think about that weight through the feet again. Inhale, exhale, and unstack that spine one vertebra at a time. Okay, when you get to the bottom, nice circle of the arms or figure of 8 or swing, just to get those shoulders opening up. And then restack the spine one vertebra at a time. Think about the weight through the feet, take a breath, and again, last one now. And stacking the spine. You can take another breath on the way down and exhale, so you're just moving nice and slowly. And don't lock those knees, don't push that tailbone out behind you. Nice circle with the arms. Inhale, exhale, and reset that spine. Good. Okay, so we'll make our way down onto the mat now, and we'll just do a quick run through the body, just warming up before we start. So just have your band or your dressing down cord, if you've got one, somewhere where you can reach it nice and easily. Just think about your feet being hip width apart, so feet, knees and hips are nicely in line, so your knees aren't going out to the side or your feet aren't wide and your knees coming in. Just take a moment, just take some breaths, just run through the body and just see how that body feels on the mat. If you've got any bits that are really tight that are bracing away from the mat. If you have, just try and think about sending the breath to those bits. Just allow the body just to feel nice and even down onto that mat. As you're breathing, as you inhale, think about the ribs expanding out to the side. As you quite a nice way if you have your hands across your ribs. As you inhale, you'll just gently feel the fingers coming apart. As you inhale, the fingers will come back together again. So you almost want to feel as if you're just gently sending those hands sideways as you're inhaling. And then just take those arms overhead again, just keep thinking about that breath flow. Try and make sure your back doesn't arch away from the mat as you're circling those arms. You almost want to feel as if the shoulders are just maybe got a little pin through and they're just being pinned down onto that mat. And the arms are just circling, so you're not moving those shoulders around. You want the shoulder blades to be nice and stable down onto your mat. Do one last one in that direction. And then we'll have a change of direction. Again, imagine you've got that little pin on those shoulder blades. Pinning them down so the torso feels nice and stable on the mat. We'll do two more. Last one. And then just gently walk the fingers down the mat, just moving those shoulders, just so they feel as if they're walking down towards your waistband. And then we'll just have and look at the neck, so just gently bring the chin down towards the chest. As you do that, you just feel that length along the back of that neck increase, and then gently tilting backwards. Try not to push the head back too far. Each time, you'll just find get a little bit more length through that neck. Then just make the movement a little smaller and smaller each time. Just until you come to rest just somewhere in the centre where that neck's nice and comfortable. And then we'll just move down onto your ribs. So you're just going to take the arms around yourself as if you're giving yourself a hug. Look at the hips at the same time. So I'm going to just roll the body gently in one direction, the knees gently in the other direction. So just stick within your own movement. Don't force it. It should be a nice, gentle, soft movement. So the head is going in the direction that the body's going in. So just gently feel as if you're just gently twisting at that waist. So you can start to just think about connecting with the centre, with those abdominal muscles a little bit. We'll do one more of those to each side. Just have a little check on your breath flow, make sure you're still breathing in a nice steady way. Okay. And then just take hold of your TheraBand, or if you haven't got one, absolutely fine, because you can do the exercises exactly the same without one. So I'm just going to take your band, if you have one, just across your pelvis and just secure them with your, just have it between your thumb and your fingers. Hopefully you can see that there, just to secure it down onto the mat. We're just going to just do some neutral pelvis, or some small pelvic tilts. And I just want you to just try and feel through your pelvis and your band whether you've got any more resistance through one side than the other. So what you don't want to be doing is tilting one hip up more quickly than the other hip. If you're doing that, you're going to be working your pelvis in an asymmetric way. do 3 more full movements. So 3 more tilting towards the feet, 3 more tilting up towards the head, and then I'm going to, instead of just tilting the pelvis up towards the head, you're going to roll the hip bones up towards the head, then you're going to continue lifting. And again, I want you to check whether this band feels like it's staying level. If you feel like one side's pushing up, you know that you're not moving equally. And then you're going to slowly come down. Same thing as you're coming down, try and get that feedback from your band. Obviously, if you haven't got your band, you're just going to be moving through your large pelvic tilt or your shoulder bridge, whatever you want to call it. But again, just try and have a little either feel with your hands or just in your mind's eye whether you feel like you are in the centre. And also remember with this exercise, you're thinking about the sequence of movement through that spine as well. So whether you're able to control that movement as you come up, really focus on one vertebra at a time, lifting, and as you're coming back down, think about controlling that pelvis so there's no side to side movement. Also focus on that spine, so each little bit of the spine right down to the bottom is under control. So you don't get to your pelvis and you put that down or in a big lump. So really try and visualise that spine, each little bone, and then just have a little check. So if you do feel like your pelvis is dropping to one side, it's probably because you've got a sleepy glute, so the big muscles in your bum. So really think about switching on the side that is a little bit sleepy. We're going to do 2 more of these. If you're tending to find that you're getting cramp through your hamstrings for this one, you can try it with a little ball or a cushion between the knees, and just a little squeeze on that sometimes just takes the tension away from those hamstrings. So we're going to do the last one. Remember, make sure you've got no side to side movement or twisting. And back down again. And then just bring those knees up towards the chest. Have a little bit of a roll around, give that spine a bit of a massage. Okay, so we're going to take your cord or your band around your foot. Doesn't matter if you haven't got one because you can do exactly the same exercise without. So you can either have your other knee bent or the leg straight, and try and keep the arms relaxed so you're not really tensing through those shoulders. You're just using your band as a guide. So have one side in each hand, and then use your band to get any feedback of whether your leg is going out of control. So, for instance, if you get to this bit and your leg kind of wants to do its own thing, use your band to feel whether that's happening. Really focus on keeping the pelvis nice and square so you're not lifting your opposite hip. Okay, so obviously if you haven't got your band, you'll just be doing the exercise either with your knee bent or with your leg straight. So we'll do a couple more circles on that direction, and then we'll have a change into your other direction. So you might find when you come into your other direction that you find it harder to control your foot. And also what you want to do is that you're not twisting and circling through the ankle. The movement is coming from that hip. So tummy button tucked back. Try and think about a breath for one circle and a breath for the next circle. And remember, you're not holding on for grim death. You still want the shoulders to be down onto that mat. So we're going to do 2 more. So nice and soft with the hands and the arms. And then take that foot out. And we'll have a swap onto your other foot. So again, choose your starting position, whether you're lying down, sorry, not lying down, whether your leg is down or whether your knee is bent. You have a problem doing this without lying down. Okay, and again, make sure the shoulders are soft and in contact with the mat, and choose your starting direction. So you're going to remember, inhale for a circle, exhale for a circle. Really focus on this opposite hip. What we don't want is that as you're doing your circle, your hip comes away. So you can think about taking the tummy button back towards the spine a little bit, just to keep you nice and stable. Start getting these abdominal muscles working, your core muscles working. So breathe, remember, nice and soft with those hands. So you want to think, if you let go of your band, that your legs aren't going to just go plop down onto the floor. Okay, we do 2 more in that direction. Back to the centre, and then have a change of direction. And if you can take the leg in quite a big circle across the body, but making sure that you're able to control that pelvis. We don't want any waving the body from side to side as you're doing this. The whole point is that you're able to stay in an independent movement with the leg. So tummy button tucked back for the last few. Keep these arms soft. Do 2 more. And back to the centre. Give those legs a bit of a rest. You can just stretch them away. Just come into that full body stretch. Take the arms up over the head. Good. Okay, so for your next exercise, I'm going to give you 2 different options. So if you haven't got your TheraBand, I think you've all got them, but if you haven't, then I will give you one exercise, and if you have, we will do a different exercise. Both exercises are working on the same thing, the core control, the sequence of movement. It's just with your band, you're going to get a bit of added stretching. So if you haven't got your band, you're going to just start with the arms in front of you. Nice upright position. Inhale. You're going to exhale. Come to where you find that you're having to work quite hard through your centre. And then you're going to come into your lovely arm openers. So remember, if you're coming into your arm opener, what we don't want is that as you're moving your body as you open, you want to really switch on through the centre. Open, close, tummy button back towards the spine to bring you back up. You can go forwards into a little stretch over that. Okay, I'm hoping, I've got my fingers crossed, you've all got your TheraBands, but if you haven't, then at least you've got an alternative. So if you have got your band, you're going to start with band around 1 foot like so. We're going to inhale to prepare. You're going to exhale, come back, bring the leg up. And then you're going to take that leg to the outside of the body and give that inner thigh a stretch. Really focus on keeping the opposite hip down for this one, so you don't want to be thinking, oh, I can get right down, but your hip's lifted. So hip down, stretch that inner thigh. Work within your own body. Okay, inhale, exhale. This time you'll have to lift your hip and you're going to stretch off the outside of the hip. You can keep that arm down just to give you that little bit more of a twist. And then back into the centre. Oh, that was real good timing with the band there. Take it off. And then you're going to inhale, as you exhale, you're going to start taking the leg down and bringing that body up. So up into a nice upright position. Inhale, exhale, controlling the movement. And then you're going to take that leg out to the side. You keep your opposite arm out for this, this stretch as well. And that will just help to keep your pelvis on the floor. So remember, we don't want any lifting through that hip. Just breathe, feel that stretch through that inner thigh. Inhale, exhale, take that arm into a T shape so your opposite arm is outstretched. Inhale, exhale back into the centre. Take the band in both arms. Inhale, tummy button back towards the spine. And slowly back up. Okay, we're going to do that once more on this side. Inhale, gradually back. Make sure that opposite hip's not lifting, so you can take your arm out to the side. Leg, think about stretching off that inner thigh, but making sure that you're not twisting through that opposite hip. If you're doing that, you're going to be cheating. Feel that stretch. Inhale, you should exhale, swap hands, take over to the other side, and keep the other arm outstretched just to keep that shoulder down. And back over to the centre, bending both arms. Inhale, tummy button back to that spine, and up nice and smoothly. Good, okay. So, hopefully with this one you won't be kicking the person next to you like we do in class. Hopefully you've got plenty of room. So again, remember if you haven't got your band, you're coming down, holding with that core, open, close, and back up again. You can stretch forward over the feet in between if you want to. So, get your band nice and secure, into your nice upright position. Inhale, exhale, nice and slowly, so you want to be controlled as you come down. Then you're going to take arm out to the side and that leg over to the other side. Remember, keep this hip down so you're not bringing your hip up. And everybody will have different range of movement for this one, so don't go into cheat mode so you can get further over, or else you'll just be making the exercise less effective. We're going over to the other side. Again, you can take that opposite arm out, back into the centre. Take your band in both hands if you've got one. Inhale, exhale, and back up. Up into that upright position. And again, inhale, send the tummy button back, Nice and controlled. Arm out to the side, keep that hip down, take that leg out into a nice stretch. Just hold, breathe, inhale, exhale, over to the other side, take that arm, opposite arm outstretched. Just hold and breathe. Back into the centre, and then we're going to come back up. So, no yanking yourself up, you've got to do it through control at the centre. Okay, last one, inhale, exhale, slowly down. We're going to take the leg out to the side, that arm outstretched as well. Take some breaths. Allow that stretch to happen, make sure this hip doesn't start to lift, so have a little touch on your hip bone, make sure it's not cheating. Inhale, exhale, swap over with the leg, take that arm out to the side, breathe through your stretch. Inhale, exhale back to the centre, banding both arms, inhale, tummy button tucked back, and back up. Good. Okay, so just have a little stretch forward over the feet. And then we'll just change positions now. So just come up into your cat stretch. We'll just bring the back gently up towards the ceiling. Gently dropping the tummy down towards the mat. So as you're doing this, think about the angle of the hip changing. Good. Okay, and then just come back into a child's pose. You can have your feet out in front of you, hands out in front of you, not your feet. And then you can take your hands back onto your feet if you want to. Just breathe and rest for a few minutes. Okay. So we're going to take ourselves down onto our fronts now. If you've got your band, use it. If you've got your cord, you can use it. If you haven't got anything, that's absolutely fine. We can do an alternative exercise. So you might have to shift your back with this one a little bit, depends on how long your arms are, but you want to have your band nice and flat somewhere underneath your pelvis. And then you're going to hold the band, so you're going to put the band over the palm and then take the thumb over the top to secure it. So you want your arms to be straight, so it depends on how long your arms is, you might how long your arms are, you might need to take your hands and the band a little past your pelvis. And we're going to imagine that tummy button just tucking gently away from the mat, away from a pin, away from something hot, just to make sure you're switching on through the centre. And then you're going to inhale. As you exhale, you become long, so you're going to draw a line with the nose. You're going to just gently lift through the top of the body, reach down with the hands towards your feet, and just going to bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Keep nice and long, and then back down with the hands, and then lower that body. So you might feel this through the upper part of your shoulders if you're a little bit tight through there. So we'll repeat the same exercise, but we're going to do that without the band this time. So same thing, If you haven't got your band, if you have got your band, carry on using it. Same thing, you're going to tuck the tummy button away, draw a line with the nose, lift, and then you're going to bring those arms up. So you haven't got the resistance of the band, but the exercise will still be doing the same thing. Arms down, and back down again. As I say, I think everybody's got bands, but if you haven't, I apologise. So, again, draw a line with the nose, nice and long through that spine, and then arms up towards that ceiling. Reaching down towards the feet of the arms so the shoulders come in the right place. Then arms back down, stay long, and back down through the top of the body. So you should start to feel this through your abdominal muscles and through the upper part of your back as well, and just strengthening that trapezius a little bit. Okay, and again, draw a line with that nose, long through the spine, and then arms up, hands reaching away down towards those feet. Don't forget to keep that tummy button tucked away from the mat. And head down. And we do one more of those. So draw a line with that nose, nice and long through that spine. Lift. And up with those arms. This time, you're going to keep your arms there and you're going to bring them out to the side like wings. And back to the centre. And back down again. Got to do a couple more. So we're going to take the arms out like wings again. So tummy button tucked, length through that spine. Lift. Arms up, reaching those hands down towards the feet, arms away like wings. Don't let the shoulders come up. Shoulders got to slide down that back. So imagine you've got two little pockets where your shoulder blades are and they're staying in them. Imagine them like little jeans pocket, back pockets. Again, tummy button tucked, length, draw a line with that nose along the mat, lift. Reach down towards those feet with the hands, lift, keep that tummy button tucked so the back's not dropping, out, like wings, back in, down, and last one. So again, engage through that centre, nose draws a line, stay long through the spine, lift the upper body, hands reaching down towards those feet. Remember, keep the head like an extension of the spine, so not pushing back with the head. Out with the wings. Keep engaged through the centre. Back in and back down again. Good. Okay, so just push back up now. Give your back a bit of a stretch. Into your cat position if you want to. Good. Okay. So we're going to come into your seated position now. So into your crossed legs. You can kneel for this one if you want to. So if you're more comfortable kneeling, you can kneel. Or you can come into your cross-legged position, whichever you're more comfortable in. I'm more comfortable in the kneeling position, so I'm going to take the kneeling position. And so this is one you can only do with your band or without your band, and your non-stretchy material won't work with this one. So if you've got your dressing gown cord, do it without. So again, we're going to look at that upper back and a little bit of shoulder stability. So we're going to take your arms, so the elbows have to stay by the side for this one, no cheating and taking them away. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. Again, slide those shoulders into those pockets. Inhale, as you exhale, just going to take the hands out, away from each other, but keep the elbows by the side. So what you're not doing is that, because then you'll think, oh, I can get miles around, yeah, but your elbows aren't by your sides. Okay, so if you've got your band, you've got that added little bit of resistance to this. So really think about, drop those shoulders down into those pockets, inhale, exhale, and take the hands away from each other. So you might feel this through the front of your shoulders as well if you're a little bit tight there. And then what we're going to do is just push the hands away. Really focus on the shoulder stability. Just hold, drop those shoulders down, and then slowly bring the elbows back to the side. Don't lift the shoulders. And then back into centre. Okay, so same thing, drop your shoulders into their pockets. Inhale, exhale, keep the elbows by the sides, shoulders down. You'll probably feel a stretch through the front of the shoulder as well. Inhale, exhale, push away. Make sure their shoulders aren't popping out of their pockets. And then slowly bring the elbows back to the sides. Don't let the shoulders rise. And back into centre. Okay, and again, shoulders in their pockets. Inhale, exhale, take those hands away from each other. Feel that stretch through the front of the shoulder and that stability through the upper back. And then again, off again. So really don't be tempted to cheat on this one or it'll have no effect whatsoever. So even if you can only go a little way around, so you might only be able to get your hands out that far with the elbows against the sides, that's absolutely fine. Much better to do that than to go, oh yeah, I can get miles around, but you're not actually targeting the muscles that we're looking at targeting. And again, shoulders drop down, arms away from each other. Push. Back to centre, keep those elbows in, those shoulders in their pocket. We're going to do one more. So elbows together, feel as if they're pushing towards each other, hands away from each other, pushing away. Keep connected with the centre, so a little bit of a tuck back with the tummy button. Good. And back. Just give yourself a bit of a circle off through those shoulders. Okay. So get rid of your band for a bit. We're going to come down now into your mermaid position. Again, remember for this one, if you want to do a version where you're not in this position, you can be either in your kneeling, and we'll just take the arm up and over. Obviously, with your hip being up here, you're going to be restricted with your movement, but we'll still think about lengthening through that side of the body, making sure that you're not coming forwards or backwards. So you want to be between two panes of glass, and then coming back and over to the opposite direction. Okay, so that's if you want to do it in your kneeling position. If you want to do it in your full mermaid position if you're comfortable with that. So, going to inhale, reach up, over, and then coming back up, and I'm going to reach over in the opposite direction. Again. Reaching over, and then up. So try not to push yourself up with your arms. You want to try And think about these oblique muscles, so the muscles along the side of the body. You want to think about those, bringing you back up, so you're stretching. And then think about shortening through there to bring you up, so you're not relying on that opposite arm to push you up. Good. And then move around onto your other side. So you might find one side you're quite comfortable sitting, and the other side you might not be so comfortable sitting like this, which is quite normal. Depending on whether you've got some tightness or restriction going on in your hips, so you might not find it so comfortable. If you don't, you can swap positions. So if you wanted to come into a kneeling position for the other side, that's absolutely fine, just play around with it. Okay, so over we go. Make sure that you feel as if you're between two panes of glass, so you're not coming forwards or backwards. And then inhale, exhale back over to the opposite side. Same thing here, make sure that you feel like you're straight, you're not tipping forwards or backwards. Again, inhale, exhale, reaching over. And again. And do two more, so between those two panes of glass, remember. And then up and over. And your last one. Really stretching over. And then back up. And one last stretch over to the other side. Good. Okay. So we'll just swing round now into your upright seated position, and we're going to just do a little bit of stretching for your hamstrings. So if you pop the band around your foot, we're going to look a little bit at stretching through the front of that ankle and along the back of the leg. So nice upright position, and then we're going to think about bringing those toes up towards the body. Gently, the knee will drop down. Again, working within your own body, you want the stretch to feel mildly uncomfortable, but don't pulling anything. Just have a look in the band, make sure that your leg's not rotating, your foot's not twisting. It's quite a good one to do with the band, so you can actually see what the body's doing. And then just going to push away with the foot. And just feel that stretch through the front of that ankle. And again, keep an eye on the foot, make sure it doesn't twist. You're going to come up into your hamstring stretch. And again, don't let the foot twist, keep it nice and even in that band, and slowly push away. So this is quite a nice one for creating awareness in the foot as well. So you don't want to look down and see your foot twisting. It's got to stay central. Okay, and release. We'll do the same thing on the other one. So make sure you've got the band kind of around the ball of your foot as well, so you're not just in the centre of the foot. So you don't want to be kind of in the instep area, or the exercise will be really difficult. So bringing those toes back up towards the body, knee will gently drop down towards that mat. So feel that stretch. So it shouldn't feel horrendous, but it should feel uncomfortable, as most stretches do. And then you're going to push away. And you can have your band as tight or as loose as you want for this one, so you can create a bit more resistance by taking your band a little bit tighter. And then again, back up into your hamstring stretch. As I say, it will feel mildly uncomfortable, but you don't want it to feel horrendous. So just work within your own body, don't pull anything. And then again, push away. Make sure that foot's not twisting, keep an eye on it. And release. Good. Okay, so just roll over now into your hands and knees just to make our way up into a standing position. So we've just stretched the hamstrings a little bit, but we're just going to just a little bit more as we make our way up into standing. So tuck those toes underneath and just pushing back up, pushing those feet down towards that mat. And just staying gently there as you walk the hands towards the feet. Just allow that back just to open the arms, just hang nice and heavy, and then just reset that spine one vertebra at a time, just until you come back up into your standing position. Good. Well done, everybody. So I hope you all enjoyed class this week, and I shall see you all again virtually next week. Looks like we might be starting up in September, fingers crossed, so hopefully only another sort of 4 or 5 weeks, and we'll all see each other in person. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.